So you've done the self-development work. You've done the books, the podcasts, the seminars, and you're still stuck in life. You keep sabotaging. You're not achieving the things you want to externally, or maybe you're not fulfilled internally. If that is you, if you've done the self-development, you've done some work before, and you continue to do the work, but you're still stuck, there's something missing for you to achieve the things you want to achieve and have the deep fulfillment and meaning internally, I'm explaining to you why today. I'm going to break it down for you as a current self-development junkie who still sabotaged his life for a very long time. I've been through this myself, and I'll show you how to get over to the other side of this. If you're new to my content, thank you for being here today. I'm an author, I'm a speaker, and I'm a coach. I've coached over 10,000 people. I've written the book, The Inspired Life Method, How to Find Your Life's Purpose, Heal Trauma, and Create a Life That You Love. And I've coached, like I said, 10,000 people plus. I've got thousands of testimonials, and I'm going to show you how to overcome this trap that so many people fall into. Now, the only ask I have from you, I put a lot of effort and energy into these videos of scripting them out, learning it, practicing it, and then obviously filming it for you guys, is if you could just like this video and subscribe and leave a comment down below. It honestly means so much. I do my best to get back to every single comment. And with that being said, I'm going to begin. Let's have some fun. So first and foremost, I'm going to start with this. It is the theory of constraints. It gets used a lot in business, but I'll show you how it shows up for humans. So the theory of constraints says that a system will grow to its lowest constraint. Let's use a business as an example. Say a business, its marketing was a 10 out of 10. It was really good at copywriting, content creation, social media, and all that stuff. Say the sales ability of the business was a 10 out of 10. You're really good at communicating, influencing people, and getting people to give you money, essentially. Say the product that you were selling was a 1 out of 10. It was a shit product. Whether it's a shit burger, a shit shirt, a shit service, the actual thing you were selling and delivering was shit. In this example, what's the constraint of the business? Stupid example, but very obvious. The product is the constraint. And it's quite funny. A lot of people in business are in that exact situation. They're doing heaps of marketing, heaps of selling, they're working hard, but the thing they're selling is fucking shit. And they think they just need to get more leads and sales. No, my friend. What you need is to fix the product. Make the product good. Make the service incredible. If you're not getting testimonials and referrals and word of mouth, your product's not as good as you think it is. And that's a good wake-up call for a lot of people in business. So anyway, say in this example, say you fix the product. You put a lot of effort and energy into making the product better, and now it's a 10 out of 10. The business would grow because you've deconstrained the constraint. So then the business would grow, and then it would hit the next constraint, whatever it may be. Whether it's systems or processes or culture or branding, whatever the thing is. And then we identify that constraint and we deconstrain it, and then you grow to the next one. So that's a business. How does this apply to humans? Great question. Human beings grow to their lowest constraint. Understand what I just said. Human beings will grow to their lowest constraint. And it's going to be one of two things. You probably heard this before. Tony Robbins says it a lot, and a lot of people in the self-development world says this a lot. Success is 80% psychology, 20% skills. So 80% mindset, 20% skill set. Your constraint right now in life is going to be based on either skills that you're lacking, you don't know how to eat properly, train properly, invest your money properly, market properly, sell properly. There's a skill set you're missing, maybe leadership, systemizing, all that stuff. Or it's going to be something mental or emotional within you. Your perceptions, your trauma, your beliefs. That's all it is. And the reason it's 80-20, 80% psychology, is the skills are quite simple. Let's use health and fitness. How complex and confusing is it to be relatively healthy? Not like you're going to the Olympics by any means, but relatively healthy. How complex is it? Is it so confusing that only 1% of the population can figure it out? Absolutely fucking not. I've come from the fitness industry. If you don't know my background, I've coached thousands of people in the health and fitness space. To be relatively healthy, make sure your macros are correct for your goal. So calories, proteins, carbs, fats. Make sure you're getting a good amount of sleep. Make sure you're drinking good filtered water. Make sure you're exercising 30 to 60 minutes a day. You do that, you're going to be relatively healthy. You might not win the Olympics, but you'll be relatively healthy. So is that confusing? No. How come so many people struggle with their health? It's like in Australia, I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but a lot of people are obese, overweight, and unhealthy. And I know America's the same. I know a lot of the countries are the same. So why? It's not the skill set. It's the mindset. It's your beliefs. It's your trauma. It's the things you haven't integrated within you yet, right? So the reason that so many people do self-development, self-growth, personal growth, they do seminars and books and podcasts, whatever it may be, you are simply missing a piece of the puzzle, or maybe many pieces to the puzzle. I'll share my journey. I did this a lot. So when I started my self-development journey, I started with Tony Robbins, and I did some NLP, which was some personal belief work and transformation work, which I love. But then I got really tactical. I was going like Gary Vee, Kerwin Ray. I was doing a lot of marketing and selling, Sabri Subi, and I was doing a lot of like, how do I sell? How do I market? How do I sell? How do I market? Very sort of tactical, skill-based stuff. And I avoided the deep inner work. So I kept hitting a glass ceiling of my constraint because of my mental and emotional state, or the beliefs or perceptions or trauma I hadn't addressed yet. I had no problems with skills. I could learn skills pretty quickly. Learn how to market, learn how to communicate, learn how to execute, all those things. But I had unhealed shit within me, and that was my constraint. And then when I started to look within and do the inner work and heal my stuff, I broke through, and I then grew to the next one. And I still have constraints. I'm a human too. But the reason you're doing all this self-development, and it's funny, I went to a Tony Robbins event, and I've been to many of them, and I bumped into this woman, I forget her name, but I do know her, we're friends, but I forget her name for whatever reason. And I bumped into her, and I was like, hey, how you doing? Like, I haven't seen you in a couple of years, what's going on? And she's like, oh, I'm just working on myself, all this stuff, I'm loving the growth and loving all this stuff. And we're at a UPW, so that's Unleash the Power Within, it's a Tony Robbins event, and I'm talking to her, I said, have you done this event before? She's like, yeah, this is my 7th time. I was like, damn, you've done this a couple times. I said, have you done his other work? He's like, yeah, I've done his Date with Destiny. I've done all these things, blah, 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 blah. And she'd done all these things. I was like, awesome. I said, what are you doing for work? And she's like, oh, I'm still working at Coles. And now in Australia, it's like a food center, shopping center type of thing, right? Where you get groceries from. Now, I'm not judging and saying that's a bad career or anything like that. But she had said, I want to do business. I want to build my brand. I want to start this podcast. I want to do all this stuff. But she hadn't done anything. She was the self-development junkie. She was mentally masturbating. She was doing all this self-development work, but she was not taking action. So there's a spectrum of humans, and I want to lay this out for you. So on one side of the spectrum, we've got our spiritual humans. Now, our spiritual humans, we love them. They're taking their plant medicines. They're doing their ayahuasca, their mushrooms. They've got their crystals on. They're levitating. They're saging. They're meditating, breathing. They're doing all their spiritual shit. And I'm into this world too. But these spiritual humans very often are very fulfilled internally, but they're broke and they have not achieved anything externally because they haven't done the other side. They haven't done the skills part. They haven't done the execution part. Because on the other side of the spectrum are our hustlers, our overachievers. These are the people that achieve externally, very often if you get the skills right. You achieve. These people often achieve externally, but are unfulfilled internally. That was me. So for me, I like to integrate these two worlds together. How do we have the person who's actually fulfilled and has deep meaning and fulfillment and happiness and love and appreciation and gratitude for the life that they live, whilst also achieving externally? Because as far as I know, we haven't evolved to a level of consciousness where you can pay your rent with gratitude. You can't do that. You got to pay it with money so far. My landlord here, they're not going to take fucking gratitude as payment. They want cold, hard cash. So this is where we integrate those two worlds together. And again, depending where you're on that spectrum, maybe you're more spiritual, you're more into the healing space, and I seem to attract a lot of these humans, and I attract the other side as well. So like my more spiritual humans, they're generally more fulfilled and more happy, but they're not taking action. They're not showing the fuck up. They're not executing the plan and the skills. And then on the other side, the people that are hustling, overachievers, hustle porn, all out work you, all out achieve you, very ego-driven humans. I'm going to prove my worth to the world by achieving as much as I can. That's what I used to do. These people, again, often are missing the purpose, the healing, the trauma, the integration stuff. So they're achieving externally to try validate themselves internally, and it doesn't work like that. And if you know, you know. You might be there. That might be you right now. So for you, again, if you are doing the self-development stuff, but you're still stuck, there's some constraint somewhere. It's going to be some form of skills. Again, I don't want to neglect the skills. Tony Robbins says this a lot. He says, You don't want to be running east looking for a sunset. So you've got the mindset, you've done the healing work, and you're taking action, but you're doing the wrong thing. So it's like if you're following the wrong plan of attack, you're executing on the wrong things, you're going to get the wrong results. So yes, you do want the skills, but the skills are simple. Jump on ChatGPT. Say, hey, I'm trying to achieve this. What would you recommend? It would literally give you the answers to the skills you're looking for. But probably more often, it's going to be the other side of the spectrum. It's going to be something within you, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, energetically, that you have not addressed yet. Maybe you don't know what your purpose is. Maybe you haven't integrated your trauma from mum or dad or your childhood. Maybe you got limiting beliefs. Maybe you got something within you that you have not addressed. It's going to be one of those two. So the question I want you to ask yourself, and honestly, if you just keep asking yourself this question ongoingly, you're going to keep growing and evolving and achieving the things that you want to have in your life. The question is this: what's your lowest constraint in life right now? What is it? Is it you don't know who you are, you're not fulfilled, you're unhappy, you're super triggered, you've got some trauma? Or is it that like, I'm trying my ass off, I just don't know what I'm doing. I'm just learning how to market, I'm learning how to sell, I'm learning how to achieve the thing. And identify what the constraint is, then go figure it out. Go grab a coach. You want to work with me? Come work with me if that feels aligned with you. Or go work with someone else. Read a book. Jump on ChatGPT. Do a course. Do a seminar. Do something. But make sure you're doing the learning and growth, but execution at the same time. So I just wrote down a couple of things that I think would help out with this. So firstly, this is my model of how I help people. So if you're not viewing the video, watch the video version of this podcast, go to YouTube and you can see it. So this is my model, the Inspired Life Method. These are the main pillars that I look for to help people within those areas. So for the self-mastery aspect, it's knowing your life's purpose, your soul's values, your authentic mission and vision. That gives you clarity on who you are authentically. And just, values are not things like honesty, loyalty, integrity, and control and freedom. Values are areas of life that fulfill you. Family, relationships, growth, experiences, travel, health, stuff like that. Then we get clear on your authentic self. So that's what self-mastery is. Get clear on who you authentically are, what you truly desire for your life. Then we do the inner work, trauma, limitations, emotional blocks. That's the inner work psychology aspect. And then skills. We have a plan to execute and we learn the technical skills and the soft skills needed to achieve your specific goals. It's going to be one of those. So your constraint will fit into one of these, okay? These are one of the things that your skills you're lacking or beliefs or trauma or wounds or lack of awareness that you're lacking. It's going to be one of those. If you are missing some of these or all of these, come work with me. I'll help you do that. Literally, there's a free trial down below if you want to grab a free trial with that. So here's some tips though. These are just some things I wrote down because I want to add a little bit more flavor for this podcast for you guys. So this is what I believe some skills that I think you could learn that would really help out. Number one, execute. You learn a lot by just doing and failing. Now, again, you want to minimize the amount of failing by learning from other people's failures. So second is learn. Learn. Become a learning machine. Learn from others. Learn from other people's mistakes. Like literally, this took me 10 years of failures, fuck-ups, mistakes, learnings, and growth, and I put it into a book. It's not a huge book. You probably finish it in maybe like a week or so. Less than that if you're a fast reader. So that's what you can do. Go learn from others. Go learn from whoever you want to learn from. Joe Dispenza, DeMartini, Alex Hormozy, like all these people that have spent like their whole life or decades of their life learning these skills, making mistakes where you can learn from them. Don't reinvent the wheel, right? So some skills that I think would help you with your constraints is number one, execute. Take action. Don't mentally masturbate all day and learn all this shit and watch all these podcasts. You're listening to one fucking right now. So as soon as you finish this one, like and subscribe. But go execute. Go take action, okay? But if you're taking action and you're not achieving the things you want to achieve, then you may want to do a little more learning. And you go between these, right? You go between learning and hustling. Like I'm at a point where I get invited to fucking like workshops and seminars and fucking events all the time. I got invited to like another 2 this week. And I'm learning to say, no, I'm not going because I know what to do. I just need to go execute it. Yes, there are things I say yes to because I always want to continue to learn and all that stuff. But a lot of you have done a lot of fucking learning. You've done so many fucking podcasts. You've done so many fucking books. It's time to take action. And if you're not, maybe there's some trauma within you. Maybe there's some limitations within you. Maybe you need some healing. So number 1, execute. Number 2, learn. And number 3 is reflect and improve. Reflect on what's working. If you're posting content, if you want to build a brand, which I know a lot of people are in that world right now, it's like what content's doing well. Now, you obviously want to be clear on what metrics you're measuring. Don't just measure the views because you might get caught up with the vanity metrics, but are people giving you good feedback? Are you getting good engagement? Are people sharing it? Are people liking it? All those things. Execute, learn, improve. And number 4, boring ass answer. Stay consistent. Stay consistent. It's honestly, let's use the health and fitness example again. To be relatively healthy, if you do the things I mentioned earlier, you eat well, you get your macros right, you sleep well, you drink good water, and you train it regularly. If you just do that consistently, you're going to be relatively healthy. But most people just don't do it. And again, there might be trauma, limitations, things within you want to address, but just do it consistently. I think this is like maybe episode like 370 something for me, for my podcast. I've been doing it for years. I posted, I think, over 6,000 something posts on my Instagram alone. Like, do it consistently. Show up consistently. And that helps a lot when you know your purpose, you know your values, you know your mission and vision, you've addressed all the limitations within, and you've got the plan and the skills to execute, which is what I help people with. So I hope you got value from this. So please, if you're someone who's new to self-development, maybe you don't really know what you're doing, maybe do some more self-development, keep doing that, but please execute. Don't be the spiritual person levitating and healing all day without taking action. And again, don't just be the person taking action every day where you haven't done the inner work as well. Do both. Integrate those two worlds together. I hope this made sense. Hope you got value from it. If I could ask that favor, please like, please subscribe, leave a comment below. I'll do my best to get back to every single comment. And if you'd like to work with me, there's a free trial for 7 days with me. You get a one-on-one call with me, and I will help you learn, grow, heal, but fucking execute at the same time as well. Hope you got some value, guys. Appreciate you guys. Love you all. See you later. Bye.